Now, here's a new way to look at politics. Just don't take it too seriously. This is fresh from BBC Three and includes strong language.
The BBC called me and they were like, Louisa, we want you to do a TV show. And I was like, woohoo! And they were like, about politics. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm Louisa Omulan. I'm a comedian, and I'm making a show about politics.
Wow!
Did Boris Johnson get into Oxford?
Yeah. How? Trouble is, I don't really understand it.
Oh, fuck! I'm going the wrong way. Ow! Ready? Okay, I'm going to walk into shot. No, I need you to look over there. Yeah, okay. I decided to make a show that was hopefully a bit more informative, most importantly accessible. I'm here to talk about social mobility. Even the statues are all of men getting an education.
Where's the bitches?
I want to talk about the things that matter to people like you and me.
Ow! You've lived in London all your life. How have you been able to have your own house?
Because I'm middle-aged.
Right. It's important that I shed some light on the things that I think are failing us because of what happened to my mum.
My mum died of cancer last year, and I feel like the system really let her down.
And then I took her to A&E. She had stage 4 stomach and bowel. She died 7 weeks later. And she had a horrible, painful death. So that's why I did the show. And I needed the fucking money, so I said yes.
Now me and my dog Bernie are travelling around the UK.
One way, buddy! One way!
England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales.
Look at you, you're too good for us, are you? You're too good for us!
Just to get people thinking about what's happening around them.
Yeah, there's a lot to be angry about.
Busy day ahead, I'm a taxpayer. What?
And this week, I want to find out what's bothering
Women! Women unite!
There's a lot of issues for us to talk about.
Guess what, bitches? We all have vaginas.
From being charged more on the high street,
That's ridiculous.
being sexualised in the media,
They made up former models.
to getting paid the same as the bloke next to you.
For every single tenner that men earn, women are earning only £9.03.
Why are women not seen as equal to men yet? And what can we do about it?
Hello, Cardiff! Oh, thank you so much for coming out. That's the level. I've never paid any attention to politics. I've never found it interesting at all. Couldn't care less for it, right? Because the only kind of politics I know about is real life fucking politics, right? It's like, you know when you go to a wedding, right? And you just started dating this guy, it's been about 4 months, and he invites you to the wedding. And then he's like, oh, by the way, Sandrine's coming. Sandrine, your ex-girlfriend. And you're like, okay, what do I wear? What you choose to wear is political. Number one, it needs to say to his mother, I'm a good woman, he could do with a woman like me around. Number two, it needs to say to him, oh, you're gonna want to take this off later. Like, number three, it needs to say to the ex-girlfriend, yeah, bitch, in your face, this is who he's dating now. But at the same time, it needs to also say, thank you for being a really good ex-girlfriend, because if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have made all those mistakes, and I wouldn't have the guy that I'm dating now, so thank you for making him the man that he is today, and I owe you so much, and I really love women, so, oh, all hail Queen, all hail Queen. It needs to say all of those things, bitches, because it's political, right? But the BBC did not want to give me any money for that, so instead, we have to talk about this bullshit, right? Here's what I want to talk about now. We are going to talk about women! So, issues affecting women right now. We're going to discuss it. We're not going to talk about the thigh gap. I know you're all crazy for the thigh gap. Oh, my thighs are touching each other. Oh, my thighs. Yes, I'm sorry, bitches. If you were this close to my vagina, wouldn't you start touching yourself? I think so. Right. Boys, I want to hear from you. You're the voice of reason, men. You can't deal with these women that are bleeding everywhere, emotional wrecks. Oh, I want to die. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Oh, I'm confused. Hashtag me too. Oh, I want to touch a breast, but I can't. Oh, not all men. Right. Boys, talk to me. Shout out. What are the problems that are facing bitches right now?
Equal pay.
Equal pay.
Image pressure.
Yes.
Tampon tax.
Tampon tax. Oh, yes, babe. I don't think you mentioned the tampon word. You're so mature. He's been waiting for that. It's so nice to see a boy be like, go say tampon, go say tampon, go say tampon. Go say tampon. Tampon tax. Tampon. Walking down a street in central London. This is a procession to celebrate 100 years of women having the vote. I mean, I don't really call this a celebration as such. I'd probably rather get a shit face on Cosmopolitan. Around the world.
There's no doubt that life has improved for us women in the last 100 years. I mean, we can vote, we can have careers, we've got better reproductive rights. I mean, we should be grateful, right? This event has brought together 30,000 women from across the country to celebrate but also continue the fight for real equality.
Can I ask why you guys are marching?
Because we're suffragettes.
You are suffragettes, but we've got the vote, so how can you still be a suffragette?
Same shit, different generation.
Sisters are sisters. We need to be recognised as equal people.
What's bothering you right now that you'd like to see us have?
Gender pay gap.
Women unite!
At art school, 55% of really good artists graduating are female. I mean, if you look at the gallery rosters, it's like sort of 70 to 90% male dominated.
Is there a problem there?
Yeah, I think it's a big problem.
Go on, sisters! You guys are the future, so what do you worry about?
I feel like we're still not equal, but then we kind of still are at the same time.
What you fight for and what you believe in will inevitably change the shape of the way that things are going. Because you're so important. You don't realise how powerful you are.
Who run the world? Girls, girls. Who run the world? Girls, who run the world? Girls,
Women of all generations and backgrounds are taking over the streets of London, Belfast, Glasgow and Cardiff. I'm surrounded by women of all ages, but surely that's kind of the problem, right?
What you're speaking to here is the choir. They already know. You need to preach to the others. Where are the men? The men should be involved in this conversation. They're the ones who've got the power to change it. Why the fuck are they not marching? Where? Where? There was one steward. Hello. Unless he's in charge of pay gaps, I don't want to know.
Hello.
Oh, it's a man. Hello, finally. Finally, a bloody dude.
There's not many men out here marching, yet the reality is that they dominate in so many other areas of our lives. We're underrepresented in Parliament, only a third of MPs are women, and women also make up less than a quarter of UK boardrooms.
Do you think that the people that can actually make the difference will listen to marches like this, though?
I think bit by bit it will raise awareness. It's kind of like just spreads, doesn't it? And the louder and the bigger we can shout,
Yeah.
and the more messages that can go out, it's going to work.
I mean, the atmosphere is incredible. It is really lovely to be part of it. I just wish people that could actually make the change be here and be part of it.
we run the world. Who run the world? Girls, girls.
So, let's talk about the Women's March, because the Women's March was something that I came across on social media. Actually, to be honest, guys, I get most of my political views from Instagram memes. So, this is, I want to talk about the gender pay gap. The gender pay gap is not the same as equal pay. Equal pay means that if I'm an architect and you're an architect, we should get paid the same for being an architect. The gender pay gaps means general. They add up all the jobs in a company, divided by amount. I don't know, it's maths, you do it. And then they work out a percentage, right? How many companies out of 10 in the UK are paying men more than women? Right now, 2018, how many companies? 7, 9?
8 out of 10 companies
are paying women less than men. So, Mona,
Luisa.
I hear you're into numbers.
I am.
Mona Chalabi is a journalist who specialises in analysing and illustrating data.
Can I see some of your drawings?
Yeah, of course. Here's my Instagram.
She's researched the pay difference between men and women in the UK.
Shall we talk very quickly about what the pay gap actually is? So, in the UK, for every single tenner that men earn, women are earning only £9.03.
Wow.
Okay. And this is across all occupations.
But how is that legal? Like, if I work in Starbucks and the dude works in Starbucks, we should be on the same hourly rate.
Because maybe coffee shop employees are on the same wage, right? But actually, this is the national average. The gaps between men and women in other occupations is so vast that even though they're on equal wages, overall, women are still earning 9.7% less than men are. If you tell me that of every tenner, I'm losing out on 97 pence, that's going to really piss me off.
That's him getting a free lunch that I have to pay for every day?
So some of the reasons that cause the pay gap, one is that men are more likely to work in senior roles. Another is that women are more likely to do unskilled, kind of low paid labour, and that also increases the pay gap.
How important is it for legislation or employers or government to intervene with things like this?
We say it's going to take 100 years to get to pay equality. I calculated that at the rate of change in Parliament, it's going to take until 2086 to see 50% of female MPs. And I think that those two things go hand in hand, right? Once you've got more females in power, it's going to affect representation in the workforce too. So until those companies fear real repercussions from the pay gap, they're going to carry on doing what they're doing.
Why are we not going for more senior roles? Why?
Women are not assertive enough.
Women are not assertive enough.
Yes.
Men demand pay rise.
Women wait until they meet everything before requesting a pay rise. Men just more likely to take the chance.
See, this is the thing. I feel that when you're growing up and you are teaching girls to be careful and you are teaching boys to jump out of trees, you're establishing an attitude that lasts throughout their lifetime. There will be a job that's a senior position and a guy will go, I've got 3 out of 10 things that they want for that job. Fuck it, I'll try for it. No, let's fucking have a go, mate. They'll go for it, right? And a lot of the time, they'll get it. Whereas a woman, she might have 7 or 8 out of the 10 qualities for that same position, and she'll go, oh, I haven't got 10, so I won't go for it. What we all want is the confidence of a mediocre white man. That's what we need.
Where did we get this stereotype from, that the men are the more capable, that are the more... Where's it come from, though?
I think that's the patriarchy, yeah. And also, honestly, a big part of the patriarchy is the way that household chores are divided, right? So, maternity leave and pregnancy affects women long into their careers. So you've taken a break from the workforce, and once you re-enter, you've missed out on all of that opportunity where a man might have moved up in his role. Another study found that 54,000 women each year are forced to leave work after maternity leave. There's just no routes back for them. And I think every woman worries about that, right? You disappear for a few months and someone else is doing your job by the time you come back.
What, would somebody say something over here?
Women are seen as inferior in our society.
But I am. Why are women seen as inferior?
Because they have babies and they're not seen as people that we can employ for longer periods.
Here's the thing, right? We've been having children since the beginning of time. We're only here because we've had children since the beginning of time. So when are they going to make childcare fundamental to the working life? When are they going to make childcare the number one of business, right? Because once you start taking care of the kids, if the kids are happy, the parents are happy. If the parents are happy, you've got a good, healthy family unit. Do you know, I've got friends that gone, it's cheaper for me to not go back to work. So I just don't bother.
It's cheaper for me if I didn't go to work and teach 30 children every day and stay at home. Got 2 children, I'd have my house paid for, my council tax paid for. So I'm at a loss, really, working than I would be if I stayed at home.
We need to change the system because the system isn't working for us. And they've done it. They've done it in Germany. Do you know in Germany, over 12 months old, you get mandatory childcare. And get this, if you can't get your kid into a childcare place, you can sue the government. How brilliant is that? You can sue the government, which gives much more freedom and flexibility to women.
I just want to say, it occurred to me when someone said childcare is a woman's issue, childcare is a man's issue too, and all of those issues are everyone's issues.
You're absolutely right.
Right, you ready? It's going to be a very cool artistic move. No, I need you to look over there. We're outside the House of Parliament, but I feel like I look a bit of a tramp. Because I accidentally got chocolate cupcake on my white trousers. But apart from that, mate, very professional, ready for work. I'm here to meet Paula Sheriff. She's the MP for Dewsbury. Hiya, I'm Luisa. She's trying to stop tampons being taxed. Under EU law, they're seen as a luxury item. I know, we're so special. So they've added a VAT charge of 5% on them.
It's absolutely outrageous that women have to pay VAT on sanitary products. Yeah. They're considered to be luxury items. Yeah. Bizarrely, you don't pay VAT on kangaroo steaks and repairs on your private jet and other really, really obscure things.
So some would argue that having kangaroo steak in a private jet is a luxury item.
Absolutely.
Right?
Of
but
course.
You don't pay VAT on those things.
Absolutely. So massive contradictions in the policy. When we first brought this to the House of Commons, the amount of men, particularly men, who would scuttle off at the first mention of the word period. Absolutely. There was one man, one male MP, who wouldn't say the word tampon. He kept saying products. He just kept saying women's products. And we were saying, it's tampon, say the words, and we finally kind of made him say it. And I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of, is the fact that we've moved such a long way.
3 years ago, Paula brought this issue into the public eye, successfully convincing the government to challenge the EU on it.
I remember when I said the word vagina in the House of Commons, later on that day, a male MP came up to me and he said, did you have to say that word? It's in the dictionary,
Vagina,
for goodness sake.
vagina, vagina. Guess what, bitches? We all have vaginas.
Well, that was 3 years ago. We're still paying as we wait for the European VAT rules to be changed. Whereas men's products like condoms are available for free on the NHS.
So every time you want to put a little hat on, you don't have to pay for that privilege. So a man going, oh, there's a pretty girl. Oh, I got a hard on. Oh, quickly, get a condom. I can't help myself. I need a condom because I couldn't help myself. I just got to put a condom. But women who bleed, obviously by choice, women that just go, oh, I choose to be in irreparable pain and slightly suicidal for 3 days. And every month I go, I'm gonna kill myself, Johnny, I am. And then you finally see the little few dots and you go, oh, that's why. And you'd think after 35 years, you'd be like, you're not suicidal, you're just coming on. But every time, it takes you by fucking surprise, doesn't it? Every time you're like, oh, everything's right with the world. I was just being silly. And to pay for the privilege of, oh, I will not bleed all over your floor because I am not a dog. I'm going to buy tampons and I'm going to pay tax on tampons to keep your floor clean because that's the kind of nice lady I am. 5% we pay on tampons and sanitary, 5% tax we pay on them, right? Do you know how much money they collected in tampon tax last year? Have a wild guess. 110 million. I like how you guess very high, which is making my point a little bit bad, made no sense in English, but we're in Wales, so it's fine. Actually, do you know how much they made? 15 million. 15 million in tampon tax. So for us bitches bleeding, the government got 15 million pounds.
Oh, here you go, it's got some razors. Let's have a look at these then. It's not just tampons where women are paying more. There are also hidden extra charges on many other female products. Okay, so $1.99 for a pack of 5. So what's the male equivalent then? How much are they?
$1.59.
Are you joking?
No, 40p more expensive.
Are you joking?
Just to have a colour.
What a load of nonsense. I don't think pink dye costs that much more to friggin', produce, mate.
And I mean, if it was me, I don't know about you, I'd buy the orange ones just because I'm not paying more for a pink or a...
I'm going to just get hairy legs.
This price disparity has become known as the pink tax. It's claimed that some women's products can cost up to 35% more than the equivalent items for men. Here are some products I bought from other stores to see if that's true. This is a 200ml shaving foam. Yeah. This is a ladies' one, this is a men's one. How much is yours?
£3.55.
£3, mate. 55 pence extra. For what?
The price disparity is a choice of either the manufacturer or the retailer.
So the pricing's got nothing to do with the government then?
No, not on this one.
So not only is it in government, it's in business.
This is an interesting one.
One is pink and is specifically for period pain.
They are 14 pence more expensive, 29p different.
You get less.
You get less for your money and more expensive. How could they justify it, really?
I never really noticed it. I just thought it was a thing that people like to argue about, but I never actually compared. What we need to do, girls, we can take it off here. And we're just going to readdress the inequality balance. Oh, I've lost the price tag. They're free, just whoever wants them. They're on me. Paying more for being female is one thing we have to put up with, but far more serious is sexual harassment. With the Me Too movement, women are saying, we've had enough.
You know, on Facebook, when everybody had a Me Too story, I didn't want to join in with it. I was like, I don't want to look like I'm jumping on a bandwagon, and also I haven't got a Me Too story. And then you realise, oh, if you're talking about getting hollered at the street or people being patronising to you or grunting at you or calling you things or calling you names or if they're overly aggressive with you, yeah, I've had that. Everyone's fucking had that. And then you realise, oh, how deep the Me Too story goes. It's a good thing that we're talking about it. What do you ladies think about the Me Too movement? How do you feel about it? Do you have an opinion on it? Yes, babe, you there.
I listened to the two guys at my work listen to the radio when it was all coming out.
Yeah.
They got exasperated by the fact that there was another story, and I was just like, I wasn't next to them, but I was like, oh my God, how are you exasperated by
hilarious.
the story? Like, they just, oh, not another one.
I feel like most men are not offended by this movement. Most men that are normal are not intimidated by this movement. Men that are scared by the Me Too movement are the ones that actually, I don't know, I feel like they're pussies. I feel like most normal people get it.
The word pussy, why is it a derogatory weak term? Because, but pussies are really strong, like they push out babies.
Yeah.
So I've kind of come up with a new term, which is a flaccid penis, and I call it a fleenus.
A fleenus? That's genius. She calls it a fleenus. To me, a load of white guys from Britain, you're just a bunch of fleenuses. Yeah? Yeah.
I think the Me Too movement is making a positive change with men's attitudes towards women. It's making us all a little bit more conscious. However, some men aren't getting the message. Maybe they're confused by it. I'm here with relationship guru Nadia Essex to get her take on it.
There are arguments to say that a lot of men are finding the Me Too movement threatening and it's making dating difficult for them because they can't go up to women anymore. How do you feel about that?
They're guys that use predatory tactics to get women, and now they can no longer use those tactics because we're wise to it and we will call you out. And so they're going, oh, what's happening? This is not, we've gone too far. What is this movement? And it's like, no, your predatory tactics don't work anymore. And that's the only people that are making noise in a bad way about Me Too. You just look around at like the environment, people are respectful and they understand. And for the first time, certainly in my lifetime and my parents' lifetime, men are understanding what it's like to be a woman. Yes.
I've been out of the dating scene for ages, so I wouldn't know how to chat up a guy.
Guys,
Hi. I want to hear from single guys, though. Has the Me Too movement made them think more carefully about their behaviour and approach?
Are you single or?
I'm single, yeah.
Have you heard about the Me Too movement? When you approach women or talk to women, has it made you more nervous or self-conscious?
Around the actual time, but yes. Like, I remember around the time when, like, the Me Too thing actually kind of came out, and my friends were like, oh, are you going out tonight? And, like, so we're meeting in a place, and they were like, oh, yeah, Me Too. Like, you'd actually almost be afraid to say the words Me Too.
Has it affected your flirting abilities, do you
When I
think?
flirted, I'm actually quite cautious when I am. Like, I try and be friendly, I try and be comical. But obviously, like, I think overstepping the mark has been highlighted a lot more recently.
So are you more aware of when you talk to women that you have to be respectful?
No, because personally, I thought I've always been like kind of respectful.
Oh man,
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, so I didn't. But I mean, I think for others it has.
We like those. No, this is not an old man moment. This is a high five moment.
Sorry. Yay, I'm back in the game. You don't know you go to the gym.
Yeah.
Flirting. Hello, 101.
You're not supposed to tell them you're flirting.
Oh, what?
That's 101. Poor Ben's literally like, what on earth? What on earth is happening?
Oh, that is so hard.
But also, I bet you're thinking, thank God you're not single.
I mean, yeah. I think yes and I'm not.
Oh, did it work?
No.
Hello.
Of course, most men get it, and it's great to see these guys recognise the importance of the Me Too movement. It's a big step in highlighting all forms of sexual harassment and sexism.
Every single day, women all up and down the country have micro-sexism. We have to be careful where we're going in public, what we're wearing, how drunk we're getting. It's ingrained into us. Men don't even have to think about it.
I've got a house, right? And I tried to ring up some window companies because the window's broken, so I tried to ring up some window companies. Right, and do you know what they said when they came round? They were like, is there a man here? Is there a Mr. over here to speak to? Yeah, it's called my dick. Talk to that, mate, right? What about the strong, independent bitches doing it by themselves? Because you get them, right? What about those? And the guy came around with the brochure and he started talking about, he was like, as a vulnerable woman at home, we want to make sure that you feel secure talking to me, so we do have a protocol to follow. And I was like, have you seen the fucking size of Bernie, mate? Like, Have you fucking seen her? Like, I mean, admittedly, he doesn't know that if you give her some chicken, she falls asleep, but that's not the point.
So some attempts to respect women can get it badly wrong. We encounter all sorts of sexism every day, and it's often reinforced by the media.
You've done a real close-up on my face again, haven't you? Social media has been really powerful because it's given a rise to movements such as the Me Too movement, so it's given a voice and a platform to so many victims. But at the same time, the media actually needs to be held accountable for a lot of the problems it's created for women. Here's some examples, right? Never mind Brexit, who won Legsit? One of the biggest decisions that the country's made in generations, but you're undermining two very powerful women. And then you've got like George Clooney's fiancée looks stylish in red dress and fetching floral heels at a sexual violence summit. Why aren't they talking about the sexual violence summit? Telegraph, women who dress provocatively are more likely to be raped, says scientists. That's hilarious, isn't it? The subtleties in language that dudes might not necessarily think of or get, that women go, you're being a bit of a sexist, misogynistic pig there. The media perpetuates so many things about women that are related to body image, to body dysmorphia.
One public figure who was on the receiving end of sexist abuse is businesswoman and campaigner Gina Miller.
I don't know much about Gina Miller. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she does. I know she's had a hard time. I'm interested to talk to her. She got slated and annihilated on social media. I don't want to talk to her about the ins and outs of Brexit. That's not what I'm here for.
Gina led a legal challenge to the government to allow Parliament to vote on whether the UK can start the process of leaving the EU. But her campaign triggered a backlash from people who supported Brexit, both from the press and from social media.
Were you surprised with the response? Were you surprised that they weren't supportive?
So 52% of the country basically decided to attack me in every emails, phone calls,
Is that what it
letters.
felt like?
My God, yes, I had thousands of the most vile messages.
Do you think you being a woman and a woman of colour had anything to do with their attacks?
Absolutely everything. I mean, I ticked every box. I was like a Barbie of hate. I was elite, spoke well. You know, people would send me things saying, you have no right to speak, you should just be a slave or a prostitute. And I thought, this is extraordinary. Nobody's actually talking about the case.
Do you think the newspapers empowered people? Did they stoke
I think
the fire
the media
at all?
are very, very responsible for what they've allowed to happen in this country. If they can say, in my opinion, or we believe, then that lets
They can get away with it.
It's just nonsense. They made up former model, you know, the way to sort of denigrate me. I'm not a businesswoman, I'm a former model. I modeled in university, like you probably worked in a bar or many other people. I didn't earn money when I was at university. And so what if I did? You know, they tried to every which way. Or they'll say, or married, you know, to a millionaire, never made her own money. I'm like, excuse me.
He married me.
It's my money and I've earned every penny.
I don't understand the world we live in where people think it's okay to say things like that.
And if nobody else is going to fight, then it's down to me. And if I now have a platform and people will listen to me, I'm not going to let the bullies win. I'm not going to let their voices be louder than mine.
Gina's experience is horrible in an extreme, but we're all subjected to sexism in our daily lives. But maybe we have more power than we think we do to be able to change these attitudes.
Why is anti-aging and how women look so in our fucking modern day culture all the time? Because we click on things that are anti-aging, because we comment and troll, because we buy magazines with red circles around cellulite and we criticise. So they feed you more of what you buy into.
But we're all only reading the headline.
And do you think that's part of the problem?
It is, because we're not interested in the 3-paragraph article.
It's clickbait. It's just things that they think people are going to want to read. Clickbait, yeah. And if we're buying into this shit and buying into companies or newspapers, if you're buying them, you're paying into that. We're the only reason that they succeed. We're the only reason that they have all the power that they have because we buy that shit and we put up with buying pink razors and we say we'll pay the extra tax. Fuck no, bitches. Fuck no. You've got to realise you have so much more power than they want you to think that you do. And collectively, we can do so much more than trying to figure shit out on our own. And that is my show.
Is our housing system broken? Satirist Blind Boy thinks so. If anyone can fix it, it might just be him. Take a look with BBC 3 on iPlayer.
Please come in.
For the first time in a generation, BBC Two spent 12 extraordinary months.
This is all for Britain, isn't it?
With the people looking out for Britain in these unpredictable times. Inside the Foreign Office starts Thursday the 15th of November on BBC Two and BBC iPlayer.
She left me no choice.
She needs me alive.
Gascon is a threat. Time is running out.
He's not getting away.
Can't be in vain. I need this.
I am in control.
There's nowhere left to run for Gaskill. Holby City, Tuesday at 8 on BBC One.